Welcome to the Mrs. R Relevant Daily Draft Podcast. My name is Jim, and I am going to demonstrate in this podcast how to use the player rankings functionality at NFL Draft Fanatics. So this is new functionality that no other mock draft simulator is providing, and it's going to be coming soon to a website near you. The website that you actually see me using right now is a development site, which should be live within the next 1 to 3 weeks. So the player rankings functionality is down here, okay? There's two types of functionality. Player rankings is an individual position, whereas a big board would be rankings of all positions in the draft database. Player rankings is you're building a ranking of a single position at a time. So we're going to do player rankings. And you can see the last position I was doing rankings on were linebackers. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it to quarterback. And I'm going to flip this to quarterback. So I need to click it in both places. Okay. You can see I have no quarterbacks ranked. You can see my max number is 50. Okay, the default max is 5. So if you want that number to be higher, that requires a paid subscription. Okay, so you want to rank 5 players. You simply come over to the quarterback player list and you pick the 5 guys that you want to rank. So I picked Ward, Sanders, Nussmeier, Milroe, and Alar. Okay, and then you can come over here and say, okay, I want Nussmeier to be 1, Ward to be 2. I want Milroe to be 3. Sanders 4. And actually, I'm going to move Sanders down 1. Okay, so let's say this is my rankings for my quarterbacks. I can save the rankings, and then I can generate a graphic. And the graphic is going to display, and notice that has white text on it. Okay, so that means that I've ranked the players. I have not tiered the players. Okay, so let's talk about tiers. So I'm going to go back to the page I was just on. Okay, so creating rankings, it literally was that simple. In 3 minutes, I was able to rank 5 players. It's not designed to be too complicated. Okay, the next layer is to switch to tier mode. That's this button right here. And what tier mode does is it allows me to say, if I come into this pencil and I'm going to say Nussmeier round 1, and notice if I say Ward, if I say round 1, you see how it's blue? Okay. If my grade on Milroe is round 1, 2, so that's fringe first round grade, I flip it and observe that is a green. So if I do the same thing for Alar, I'm going to say he's a round 1, 2 grade. And then for Shedeur Sanders, if I have a second round grade on Sanders, I'm going to pick round 2. I'm going to hit the save button again to save my tiers. Okay. So let's go back. I need to switch to tier mode. Generate graphic, and notice now how the text is colored, and it's going to tell you what the colors are here. Now, if you decide to post this to social media or use it in an article, nobody's going to know what the colors mean except the people that use the website. Okay, so you don't have any ability to control what those colors are. Those colors are fixed. So blue text is for a blue chip first round grade. Green is for a round 1, 2 grade, meaning you think the player's going in round 1, but you didn't actually grade them as a blue chip player. And then the round 2 grade is the magenta or purple color. Okay. And then you have the copy image and the download image up here. So you can take this image if you're writing an article. You can use this functionality to generate the graphic for the article if you choose. Okay. You have the ability to do this for every position. So you can do a quarterback ranking. You'll be able to see right here, I already have wide receiver rankings. And if I switch to tier mode, okay, for the wide receivers, Bond is there. Horton, I have a round 2 on. Tez Johnson, it's round 2-3. Besh is 2-3. Weeze is a round 4-5 grade. Sturdivant, round 4-5. Antonio Williams, round 4-5. Wells, 6-7. And then for Armstrong, I actually have a UDFA grade. Okay. I have to save that. Yeah, okay. And I'm noticing something. So I have to hit tier mode, then generate the graphic. And now you can see those players with the appropriate colors here. Okay. And again, going back, I can flip my position to tight end. You can see my tight end rankings. And if I switch to tier, you can see that the green means I've already tiered it. So when I generate the graphic, you can see my tight ends with their tiers right there. Running backs. We did a podcast the other night. These were the 3 running backs, and those tiers are saved. And you know that the tiers are saved because when I flipped to tier mode, those were green. Okay. So the green, that's not, the green just means it's positive. You have applied a tier to the player. Offensive tackles, you can see that there are no tiers here. So if I was to apply tiers, it would be round 2 for Simmons, 2 for Ursery, 2 for Millam. I've got a 2 on Connerly, and I've got a round 2 grade on Will Campbell. So I actually have all of those guys in the same tier. I'm lower on Campbell than consensus. And you can see all those players have the same tier listed here. Okay. And again, you can see cornerbacks and the tiers aren't there. You can see safeties. So in this case, there are no safeties. So if I was to create a graphic here, Starks, Emimori, Kamari Ramsey, go back to the first page, go with Winston, and go with Watts. Okay. And then I can switch. I'm in tier mode now. So I would say Starks is round 1. Emimori, round 2. Ramsey, round 2. Winston, 2-3. Watts, 3. Save it. And generate the graphic. And you can see the safety rankings there. Okay. Again, from my standpoint, I considered the functionality when I was designing it to be simple. But at the same time, what is simple in my brain may not be simple to a website user. So if you have questions on how to do this, I urge you to either email at nfldraftfanatic on Twitter or post a comment to YouTube on the nfldraftfanatics.com YouTube feed. And if something with the functionality doesn't feel quite right, let me know. So that's the toughest thing when you're designing software, right? It makes perfect sense to me, but I'm the one that designed it. So as people try it, I think it's a new way to do like mock drafts, because this isn't a mock draft, right? In this case, we are literally just talking about safeties on this specific graphic. So I think people like pictures. People like pictures way more than they like words. So the idea is to give people a picture where they can start talking about things that are important to them. Okay. My name is Jim. I'm with NFL Draft Fanatics. You can follow on X at NFL Draft Fanatic. No I in Fanatic on my Twitter. In addition to that, you can subscribe to YouTube and leave comments on the YouTube videos. And that's another great way to interact with our page. Lastly, you can just come to the site and you can use the functionality. And like I said, it will be released in about 1 to 3 weeks. I'm in daily contact with my developer, but just when I think it's ready to be released, between her and I, we find at least one more bug. And we're like, okay, we want to fix that before we let the rest of the world use the functionality. So that's just kind of where things are right now. So anyways, I hope you enjoy using this functionality. And I appreciate the 17 of you that are watching right now live. So please feel free to put a comment into the stream. Find us on YouTube, find us on Twitter. And I look forward to all of our interactions throughout this next draft cycle. Thank you very much. Enjoy your election night and have a great day.